He woke up on a hot summer morning to the loud chirping of birds outside his bedroom window. But the grumbling of his stomach was even louder. He was hungry. Come have some eggs, Hasan, called his mom from the kitchen, and fill up because there won't be much food for dinner. Abu hasn't been home in a while and the electricity just came back this morning. Hasan's father worked in a faraway city. So some families, the parents, maybe the father has to go somewhere else far and work, and he can't see his family all the time. So that's the situation with Hasan's family. He doesn't get to see his dad all the time because his dad goes somewhere else to work, and then maybe every now and then he comes to see his family. Hasan, when he came back for a visit every few weeks, he would bring money and special treats. So his father, he goes far away. See, he's saying, Assalamu alaikum. He's leaving. He's going to go far away to go work, and then he makes money and he comes back to his family so that he can use the money to buy food and pay for clothes and electricity. Like they just got their electricity, she said. Do you guys have electricity in your home? Can you push the button and the lights turn on? Alhamdulillah. Can you open the fridge and there's food? Can you turn on the water and there's hot water where you can take a shower? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. All of those are blessings. And all of those are because it takes some time to become hot. You need money to buy things. And your mom and your dad, they work hard together. They're like a team. They work hard to do all of these things for you, for your family. That's something to be grateful for, right? I'll ask you guys to hold your questions till the end, okay? Since the electricity on their whole street had been out for a few days, a lot of their food became spoiled and had to be thrown away. Hasan looked at his worried mother and wondered how he could help. Do you think that you can help as kids? Can you help your families? Are you a part of your family? Yes, you are. Of course, you can help. And you know what? Sometimes kids have the best ideas. So let's find out what Hasan's idea is. Hasan, when you're done with breakfast, please go ask Sheikh Omar if he can spare some rice for dinner, said his mom. I will, Huyu. And you know what else? Hasan boasted. We're going to have a huge feast tonight, inshallah. Wait a second. She just said they don't have food. And she just said, can you go ask the sheikh for rice? How are they going to have a huge feast? How? Asked his mom. You'll see, said Hasan. He crammed the eggs into his mouth and bolted out the door, running straight to the masjid to talk to the imam. I wonder what he's going to do. Sheikh Omar was reading quietly on the striped green carpet when Hasan suddenly burst into the masjid saying, Sheikh Omar, I have a problem. I promised Hoyo she'd have a huge feast tonight, but there isn't enough food in our house.
Well, I do have a sack of rice that I've been saving, said Sheikh Omar. And we have some big cooking pots in the basement.
But that's not enough, complained Hasan. I promised her a feast. Plain rice isn't a feast.
Don't worry, Hasan, said Sheikh Omar. Say Bismillah, and I'm sure you'll think of something.
Hasan sat down in a huff and thought, how will I make a feast without any food? Bismillah. Suddenly, a big, clever smile spread across his face. He's got an idea.
Did you put peanut butter spread across his face?
Peanut butter spread? No. Hasan ran to the imam and said, Sheikh Omar, start boiling a huge pot of water in the masjid kitchen. We're going to make Bismillah soup.
What kind of soup is that?
What's Bismillah soup? Asked Sheikh Omar. No time to explain. Just trust me, Hasan shouted as he ran out the masjid door. Hasan hurried along towards the market and found the vendors setting up their fruits and vegetables. He greeted the first vendor and said, "I'm here to invite you to a huge feast that we're having tonight at the masjid. We're making something special that no one has tasted before. Bismillah Soup." "I've never heard of Bismillah Soup," said the vendor. "It's a special soup that is the tastiest soup in the entire world," Hasan explained. "Oh, in that case, I would love to come to the feast and try the tastiest soup in the world. Take these onions and potatoes. You simply can't make soup without lots of these," she said. Hasan carried the heavy basket back to Sheikh Omar just in time to see the water start boiling. Together, they peeled and chopped the vegetables and threw them into the pot. Then Hasan flew out the door again, heading back to the market. He knew exactly where he needed to go next. Another vendor, you think? Let's see.
He's trying to ask for food for free without actually asking.
Yeah, he's inviting people to dinner, but look at, mashallah, the people are so generous and they want to go to the masjid that they're helping, they're contributing, right? Hasan arrived at his favorite spice shop and pushed the door open. "I've come to invite you to a huge feast at the masjid tonight," explained Hasan to the store owner. "Sheikh Omar and I are making Bismillah Soup."
"I've heard of all the soups in the world," the man said proudly, "but I've never heard of Bismillah Soup."
"It's the tastiest soup in the entire world," said Hasan.
Snorted the man. "I'll have to taste it myself to believe it. Take my special spice mix and pour it into the soup. No soup is complete without it."
Hasan thanked him, took the bag of spices, and ran back to the masjid, grinning the entire way. Is his plan working so far?
Yes.
Yes, mashallah, look how generous everybody is. Everybody wants to help. "Sheikh Omar, pour this into the soup," shouted Hasan excitedly. As soon as Sheikh Omar poured the spice mixture into the soup, a wonderful smell began to fill the air. "We need to take a break to pray now, Hasan. Leave the soup to boil here, and we'll come back to it soon," said Sheikh Omar. When they had finished praying, Sheikh Omar stood up and made an announcement.
"Brothers and sisters, we will be having a community feast tonight. As a special dish, Hasan and I are making Bismillah Soup."
"What's Bismillah Soup?" they all asked.
It's the tastiest soup in the entire world."
Oh, this is Hasan, sorry. "It's the tastiest soup in the entire world," said Hasan, smiling nervously, because he's not sure if it's going to taste good, right? He's like, it's the tastiest soup. "But Sheikh Omar," whispered Hasan, "how will there be enough food for all of them and their families?" Hasan promised his mother a feast. Now the whole community is coming. Are they going to have enough food?
No. Yes. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
You know what though? You know what he said
Yes.
at the beginning? He said Bismillah. He said Bismillah. Okay. "Didn't we say Bismillah, Hasan?" Sheikh Omar explained confidently. "Don't worry. There will be blessings in the food, and it'll be more than enough, inshallah." Hasan quickly headed out of the masjid again to visit the local farmer. After a long walk, he stood in front of the faded brick house and knocked 3 times. The old farmer opened the creaky door with a friendly smile. "I've come to invite you to a special feast tonight at the masjid," said Hasan. "We're making Bismillah Soup." He's inviting everybody.
Probably gonna get carrots.
"What's Bismillah Soup?"
asked the farmer. "It's the tastiest soup in the entire world," replied Hasan.
"A steaming bowl of soup is my favorite meal, especially since I don't have many teeth left." Oh no, look at his mouth. He's lost his teeth. Said the man with a hearty laugh. "Take this wheelbarrow and fill it up with my fresh corn. Make sure to add some to your soup. It always makes my soups delicious. Hasan was sweating as he pushed the heavy wheelbarrow all the way back to the masjid. Huyo is going to be so surprised, he thought, chuckling quietly to himself. Look at all of this work and effort that he's putting in to do something special for his mother. Yes.
I'm pretty sure I could hold that barrel without sweating.
Without sweating. MashaAllah. You're very strong and athletic. After parking the wheelbarrow outside the masjid, Hasan entered and said, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Omar. Look what I brought from the farm. Hasan stopped mid-sentence and stared at the masjid's small kitchen with surprise. What does he see? A lot of food. There were piles of food everywhere. Do you see all that food?
Yes.
MashaAllah.
Yes.
Sheikh Omar, where did all this food come from? Asked Hasan. Sheikh Omar laughed. Didn't I tell you there would be blessings in the food? He said. See, when you say Bismillah and you trust in Allah, He will provide for you, right? The baker heard we were having a feast, so he brought his mufo bread. He said we cannot have soup without it. Then the baker invited the pastry shop owner, so she brought this huge pile of samosas. Then the pastry shop owner invited the fruit vendors from the market, and they brought this mound of bananas. And then the butcher was invited by the fruit vendors, so he brought 7 plump chickens to put into the soup. 7 chickens? MashaAllah! Look at his face! He is shocked.
Well, I don't really like eating meat.
You don't like eating meat? That's okay. You can eat the other stuff, the bananas. By the time Sheikh Omar was finished explaining, he was almost out of breath. Chicken, exclaimed Hasan. So that's why the soup smells even better than before. His mouth watered as he shucked the corn, sliced the kernels off the cob, and put some into the bubbling soup. I'm so hungry, he thought. Look how full their pot of soup became. All from the help of the community.
They should get another 15 pots of soup.
They need more pots. Before the sun set, Hasan quickly walked back to his house. His legs were starting to ache from all the walking he had done. Look how much work he's putting into making this meal for his mom. And think of all the meals that your mom or your dad make for you. And they do that every day. He's doing this one time. But mashallah, that's amazing that he's putting in all this effort for his family.
And that's way more stuff than the mom can make.
Huyo, hurry up and get Safiya ready. We are having a feast at the masjid right after Maghrib, like I promised, called Hasan from the doorway. Hasan's mom smiled and said, Hasan, I know you wanted to give me a huge feast, but I won't be disappointed if you couldn't prepare one. I'll just eat some rice and say, Alhamdulillah. Okay, whatever you say, Huyo, said Hasan with a secretive smile on his face. Look, he's chuckling. He's like, she doesn't know what surprise I have. As they approached the masjid, Hasan and his mother saw a large crowd of people. Something smells good, said his mom. I wonder what's going on at the masjid today. You'll see, said Hasan. As they entered the masjid, they saw heaping plates of food everywhere, even more food than before. I promised to make you a feast, Huyo, said Hasan, and I had to keep my promise. Hasan's mom was stunned. But Hasan, where did all this food come from? She asked. It all started with just one Bismillah. After they prayed Maghrib, everyone sat down to enjoy the delicious meal. Don't forget to try the Bismillah soup, yelled Hasan. It's the tastiest soup in the world.
Why does Hasan always have to say that?
Because
Getting kind of annoying.
it's Bismillah Soup, so it has blessings in it. So when you do something with Allah's blessings in it, it's going to taste amazing. Inshallah. As they slurped up the final drops of delicious soup, Hasan's mother turned to him and said, I'm so proud of you, Hasan. You're not just a boy anymore. You're a responsible man of the house now. Hey, what about Asmi? Asked a familiar voice from behind them. Abu, you're home, shouted Hasan. I brought you lots of your favorite sweets and I know you'll love them, said Hasan's dad. Hasan touched his full stomach and said, no sweets for me tonight, maybe tomorrow, inshallah. So his dad even was able to make it. Let's head home, said Hasan's mom. You've had a long day, Hasan, and it's past Safiya's bedtime. After they said their final goodbyes to Sheikh Omar and all the guests, they walked home together under the light of a full moon. So, Abu, have I told you about my Bismillah soup? First, there was no food. Then I went to Sheikh Omar. Then a lady in the market gave me onions and tomatoes. Then I went to my favorite spice shop. And then, so they're walking home and he's telling his Abu, his father, all about the story.
Oh, brother.